So I spent more than 4 hours last night talking about the Kavanaugh hearing. And it was quite eye-opening for a lot of Americans. I know quite a few friends who aren't Trump supporters, but they're not necessarily Hillary supporters either. They were somewhere in between. They voted for some independent person. And after they saw this hearing, after they saw social justice in all its glory, they said that they are going to vote Republican no matter what. Like, they don't even look at the name on the person who's putting a stamp on. As long as they got the R, that they would vote. They would even vote for George W. Bush at this point, because this is how bad this hearing was. So if you're not an American and you don't know what's happening, basically there is a position open on the Supreme Court. So Trump and his administration nominated a person by the name of Kavanaugh in order to fill that position. Now, Supreme judges in the United States, they're elected for life. And they have a lot of power. Not only can they interpret the Constitution, but they can also interpret how legislation works and set precedents. Having judges on the Supreme Court basically changes the direction of the nation for quite a few decades. And as people know, the left, you can say anything about it, but it's very meticulous. It likes to plan ahead. It likes to plan for the future. A perfect example with how the interpretation of a constitution matters is regarding gay marriage, right? So a lot of states in the United States were voting for gay marriage one way or another, but then the Supreme Court decided that in the Constitution, not only is gay marriage permissible, but it's anti-constitutional to have anything otherwise. So clearly this is how the founding fathers wanted marriage to happen in the United States. They were very pro-LGBT. And this is just an example, right? Like, it's not the only case, but it is an example how you can interpret the Constitution and then force legislation for the entire country. Now, of course, these judges are supposed to be apolitical, but let's cut the horseshit, all right? It's very difficult for a person not to have any politics at all. I mean, surely maybe they can professionally distance themselves from politics, but in reality, judges do have political opinions. Now, the left does want progressive judges to be on the Supreme Court so they can interpret the Constitution and the legislation from a progressive lens, while the conservatives want conservative judges, right? So it's clearly a war between who gets to nominate the judges and not. So this is one of the reasons the left is furious that Trump won the election, because it seems that he will not only nominate one, but it's a high possibility that he might get to nominate two Supreme judges in his presidency. So it's a big loss for the left. Now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to delay Kavanaugh all the way until midterms. Hopefully, they will get more Democrats in the House, and then they will have more power in order to try and prevent the Republicans from having the judges they want. So this is a tactic that they are trying to do, and a lot of Democrats are quite open about it. Like, they're not even hiding; they're in plain sight. So apparently they tried to initially attack this guy on a professional level, but it turns out that this guy is a saint. Like, he's not a racist, he's not a homophobe, he's not a bigot in any way. And they couldn't even pinpoint that he would have some political motivations in the way he's doing his job. So now they tried to find a bombshell. They literally name it. It's like, we need a bombshell. And the bombshell came in the form of a rape accusation. A rape accusation from 36 years ago, right? And of course, this is not going to be something that goes in court. This is not something that goes through the normal proceedings. This is not something that's going to go through the justice system. It went through the social justice system. It went through a Senate hearing where it was a public state of law, if you want. It's like, let the viewer decide, let the person decide. And we noticed that everything that's fair and just about the legal system and fair play, all of that is going to be thrown out the window, and instead we're going to have social justice dictate if this guy is innocent or not. And for a lot of Americans, finally they opened their eyes and they saw the horrors of what social justice actually is, and how the system is supposed to function. The system that feminists constantly propose for social media, for corporations, for companies, now became into the public sectors at the higher levels of government. And it's just absolutely abhorrent, right? And it's funny because a lot of Americans who didn't know about this now finally get to see the horrors of it. And they're so shocked and they're so outraged. And for me, it's just another Tuesday, because this is what happens in the private sector all the fucking time. If you read the news, this is just another Monday in the universities. It's nothing different. It's nothing spectacular. So what do I mean by this? Well, let's see how social justice works versus real justice, shall we? Statute of limitation. What the fuck is that? Right? Like, an incident that happened 36 years ago is just as fresh as if it was yesterday. It doesn't matter that the alleged rape occurred when Kavanaugh was 17 and Ford was 15. We're going to treat it as if it was yesterday. And if Kavanaugh doesn't remember all the details, well, that's his fault. You know, maybe he was a drunk. Maybe he was a drunk when in high school and he blacked out constantly. And that's why he can't remember exactly what happened in that night. And I honestly think that this is something they legitimately try to push. They want it to be a he said, she said type of story. So and leave it at that, right? Just create the doubt in the people's mind, and hopefully manage to delay this until after midterms. But they chose to fuck with the wrong autist. Like, sorry to say this, but Kavanaugh is the most autistic person I have ever seen. The guy literally came with calendars with what he did 36 years ago. Like, he legitimately had day after day after day marked down with details. And you know, like to the most meticulous detail of what he was doing that particular day. I don't think anyone expected that. I think people were like, what the fuck is it up with this guy, right? So he's coming up with proof, and he genuinely has an alibi for shit that happened 36 years ago. They didn't expect that, but, well, who cares? I mean, it's not like this is actual court and actual justice. So just to make it clear, it's not a he said, she said type of story. It's a she said, he has evidence type of story. And this is where we're going to go next, presumption of innocence. This is just a fossilized concept at this point. I mean, all it took is for an accusation to come against Kavanaugh, and therefore he is guilty. The accuser is going to face absolutely no doubt. I mean, at that hearing, all the Democrats were saying how stunning and brave this lady is. You know, how stunning and brave Ford is for coming forward. Absolutely no critical thinking, no skepticism on their part. Then it was up to Kavanaugh to prove that he wasn't guilty. He needs to be the ones bringing evidence that he didn't do nothing, which is something that he actually did. Like, this was bewildering because I didn't think he can prove anything. Like, what can you prove what you did 36 years ago? But no, apparently all the witnesses from the accuser that Dr. Ford brought forth, all of them denied that it happened. So not only is she was unable to remember the date, she was unable to remember the place where it happened. All of her witnesses didn't corroborate her story. She had no other evidence besides that. And yet, you know, Kavanaugh comes here with evidence and it's still not enough. Still not enough. But what is the most funny part is how social justice is supposed to work, right? Like, get this. The accused must first present his defense. And then the accuser comes with her legal team and is able to make the accusation. And they go through, you know, the defense, the thing, and then go through the accusation. This is just absolutely mind-boggling. Like, no legislation throughout planet Earth has this, except social justice, which is something that is worthy of promoting it. And a lot of, as I mentioned, social media have tried to adopt the system when they're enforcing their terms of service. Evidence. What the fuck is that? Like, who cares about evidence? As I said before, Ford could neither name the location where the alleged assault happened or the date or time. She doesn't know how she arrived at the scene or how she left the scene. There is no physical evidence of an attack, and that doesn't matter. Like, she's just starting and brave. The only thing that she needed to do was to make the accusation, right? It is just absolutely bewildering. And the questions that they were being asked. Holy shit. Apparently, the way the Democrats wanted to attack Kavanaugh was to say, well, okay, what if you have the calendars and you get all that, but what if you are drunk and you blacked out and you don't know if you did it or not? So they constantly started asking him how much he drank in high school. Did you drink 1 beer? Did you drink 2 beers? Did you drink 3 beers? You had too many to drink. And I was like looking at this like, is this for real? You're actually putting a man in front of the whole nation, asking him if he liked alcoholic beverages in high school. And even if you would manage to say, okay, he blacked out once. Are you saying that just because someone blacks out, he must have raped someone? Is this? Yeah, no, it is. It absolutely is. Oh my God, like it was just bewildering. Like they even started to talk about the fart jokes that he had in his calendars in front of the entire nation. Put yourself in that position, right? Like you're an edgy high schooler, you talk about some fart jokes and shit like that. And then years down the line, you're in front of the Senate, and the Senate, what are these fart jokes you talked about in high school? Like, absolutely no care for the man's public image, and none whatsoever. Just fuck him, because another one was like, what are these F's in front of the dates? I noticed on your calendar you put an F. Like at that point, if I was there, I wouldn't have helped it anymore. I would be like, well, the F's are clearly when I was raping women, Senator. Is this what you want me to say? Like every single thing that was, they literally begged him at one point, like, please incriminate yourself. You know, not in this specific language, but it was like when they noticed that they don't have anything against him, they all start, please incriminate yourself. Say something that we can use. Have mercy on our souls. Well, one guy legitimately asked him in the end, do you believe in God, Kavanaugh? Like, yeah, I believe in God. Look into my eyes and tell me you didn't do it. Oh my God. Like, like that was an embarrassment. And then, like, get this, then, like, I'm not making this up, okay? This is in the hearings. Like, I'm not able to make shit up with this. They asked him, okay, well, if you're innocent, why don't you call the FBI on you? And obviously this was a tactic in order to delay the process, right? To delay it even further. Because, you know, it would take time for the FBI to do its investigation. And again, the person is innocent. Like, he hasn't been found guilty of anything, and is the accused that has to call the FBI? Like, how the fuck does this work? If you accuse me of breaking into your house, am I the one supposed to call the police on me to investigate it? Like, how the fuck does this work? Well, apparently, right, because he doesn't want to call the FBI on himself, he's guilty. And this is a big trick that the Democrats are doing, right? Because he needs to be politically impartial. He is a judge. He can't actually say, well, Senator, wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you like for this to be delayed over the midterms until the Democrats get more seats? Well, of course you would want me to get the FBI, but I'm not going to do it. He can't do that, because if he does that, he can be attacked for not being politically neutral, right? He would then start doing politics. So he can't do that. And they know they can't do that. So they're trying to push the idea that he doesn't want an FBI investigation because he knows he's guilty. As if the FBI are supernatural. As if they're going to call Scully and Mulder to figure out a crime that happened 36 years ago. As if they have this possibility of figuring this shit out. No one can. Absolutely. This is why they even did the 36 years ago rape accusation. Of course, they didn't expect this guy to be this autistic and then have calendars with everything he did 36 years ago, but that's something else, right? Oh, and another question that was just absolutely mind-boggling. Do you enjoy, or I don't know how exactly he phrased it, but are you comfortable, are you happy that this woman came forth and testified against you? And I'm like looking, it's like, well, yeah, this is the most thrilling day of my life, Senator. I am so excited that for the last 10 days, the media kicked off a shitstorm against me and my family. I have never been more happy and more thrilled, and I wish she does it again. You know, I wish she does it to you, Senator. I wish she does it to someone else to experience the wonderful joy and the best feeling in the world to be under accusation from this kangaroo court. You know, like, of course he couldn't say that. Of course he couldn't be edgy. But this is how she should have been. Like I probably wouldn't have get the job. A lot of people were saying, well, this is just a job interview. It's just a job interview. Okay, first of all, jobs interview aren't in front of the entire nation. Like this shit, even Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks is saying that this is going to ruin his reputation for his entire life, even if he's innocent, right? I love the fact, even if he is innocent. It's like, well, you haven't proved he's guilty. Doesn't matter. It's social justice, you know. Fuck rights of the accused, fuck testimonies, fuck all of that, right? So even if he is innocent, he's going to ruin his reputation. Well, of course. Who likes this? Who is genuinely? No. That's a good thing that she came against me. That is genuinely. Oh, and the testimony. Oh my God. So the testimony is also not relevant. Okay, it doesn't matter that Kavanaugh and the other person that was accused, they denied the accusation. And they have no memory of being at the same place with Ford 36 years ago. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Ford can't produce a single witness to confirm her narrative or refute the story from Kavanaugh. Doesn't matter. No concern. You know, it's just the accusation. That's it. You just need to believe. All women must be believed. The rights of the accused, fuck that shit, doesn't exist. What rights of the accused? You know, this is not a court system. They keep mentioning it's not a court system. Yeah, I mean, a court system, as I mentioned before, has the pillar of innocent until proven guilty, the pillar of rights of the accused, evidence, you know, like the law, like things we can use in order to incriminate someone. This is why our justice system is the best in the world. This is not the court. You're absolutely right. This is social justice. It's absolute horseshit. It is witch burnings. It is the Salem witch trial. Also, just to point out the doublespeak, right? The word victim only refers to the accuser. Only the accuser is a victim. I mean, let me put it this way, how retarded this sounds. Maybe there is a feminist watching, so you can understand just how stupid what is being said here is. I think we need to always believe the victim. I think Judge Kavanaugh is a victim of a false rape charge. And as such, it's Dr. Ford that now needs to prove that she didn't falsely accuse Judge Kavanaugh. And if she can't prove it, then she needs to go to jail. Because, you know, we need to start believing the victim. We need to start believing. Is this like something that people do? Apparently, yeah, it's something that we need to support. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I personally, and this is my opinion, okay? I think the Democrats have completely lost the plot. I think what they managed to do here is to mobilize the GOP base, the GOP voting base, like never before. I'm a person from the outside looking in, right? I'm not an American. And from my limited understanding, there's only three things that you can do to piss off the right-wingers in America. Number one is to fly planes into buildings. This is probably one of them. Number two, take away their guns. And number three, fuck with the Supreme Court. I think like if you do some of these, it's enough to get the right-wingers to go to vote. And I think that even though normally, it's the party who doesn't have the presidency that wins the midterms, I think we might find an exception here. I genuinely think that everyone who saw this was so pissed off. I was even following CNN live stream and the Young Turks. There were people even there that were like, well, come on, this is fucked up. Even people that were there, they were saying, look, I don't like the judge. I think he's a piece of shit, but I think he's innocent. Like, you just managed to get people, and you need to understand, the election process isn't just about convincing people that you're right. It's convincing people to vote. Because there might be a lot of Republicans that are staying home and they don't want to vote. But I think they managed to piss these people off hard enough in order to mobilize and vote. That's my personal opinion. I even made a bet with Christy Witters. I'm making it official here. I have bet with Christy Witter on 100, I don't know what it was, I think British pounds or euros. I think it's 100 euros. We'll see. But the number is 100 anyway, 100 euros. That the GOP will maintain the House. They will still have a majority after the midterms. This is legit. I'm calling it on the air, right here, right now. You know, you can hold me accountable to, I will pay this woman if I am wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I think I'm right. Let me know what you think in the comment sections. Tomorrow is going, no, sorry, today. Today is the day where they decide if they're going to give Kavanaugh the seat or not. I hope he doesn't get the seat. I hope they suspend him after the midterms, because then you will see the real clusterfuck. Like, that is going to really piss off the American people. And then you'll see people going to vote. It's still bad now, don't get me wrong, it's still bad. But if he doesn't get the seat, let me know what you think again. Yeah, I'll see you all on the stream. I'm probably going to stream it live. These streams are, I would say, entertaining, and I think I would be right. It's drama mixed with comedy. Like, it has the drama because it's so horrible to see what happens to this guy. It is absolutely disgusting to see what is happening to him and his family. And it's comedy because it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. It is something that I would not believe that you would see on television 5 years ago in the land of America, or where the land of the free, with the cornerstones of justice and, you know, state of law. Fuck that shit. You're on camera now, boy. You're on TV. You know, defend yourself in front of the people.